So, you know those times, right, where you're just doing the best you can, doing all the work you can, and just putting your all into something, but having none of that amount to anything, right? Putting in all the inputs, no outputs coming up. Uh, and you put in a lot of input, put in a lot of work, only for there to be no result. We've all experienced it, and I'm sure. And it sucks. I hate it. Oh, I don't know actually. I don't know if I hate it. That's kind of what I want to just talk about in this video. I think it's about learning to love the process. I think that's really important, not just in business, but in anything in life. Because once you learn to love the process, as cliche as it sounds, you know, once you just kind of stop caring about the outcome, you get the outcome, you know. To be honest with you, that's what a lot of people say, right? It's, uh, like people go on about the law of attraction, say that once you stop caring about it, it'll come to you. If you chase it, it'll elude you. To be honest with you, that I never really believed that. I'm still in the process of trying to believe it, if you can believe me in saying that, because I guess I'm still in the thick of it right now. Still early in my journey in terms of building a business. I put in a lot of work, so I've tried several business models, just really trying to find out what it is I enjoy doing and what suits me as a person, like I've done things like SMMA, where be marketing agency for clients. I did Amazon KDP, where I wrote books and posted them, all of which I really did enjoy. I do enjoy. With SMMA, at least, things like that, it doesn't really match with my core, with who I am as a person. I love building stuff. I love creating stuff. I like being creative. I love making music. I love music. That was one of the reasons why I really did enjoy Amazon KDP. But with that, it requires a lot of upfront capital to get started. And I was just losing money, to be honest with you. I was gaining money. I was getting money. Don't get me wrong. I was pretty successful in that, but like to have it long term, it does take a lot of money, for sure. It's more of like a pass. I don't really like the word passive income, but it is more of like a passive income kind of thing. Not something that you really like work on relentlessly and then watch it grow. That kind of business model. So I'm currently in the process of trying several other business models, which after hours of reflection, in terms of like journaling, I love meditating, and also actually just kind of just writing my ideas out and looking at them and trying to figure out who I am. I've kind of locked in on several business models that I think really match me as a person. And I think I can, because with business, right, it's all a long-term game. You have to stick with things for years on end. And I really want to find something that I can commit to for years on end, because with me, I don't know, like, I'm sure people struggle with this, but I find that I am quite susceptible to shiny object syndrome, and I completely admit that. That's something I'm trying to work on. It's like one cool thing onto the next, and like I have no problems like starting, because I know for some people starting is like the hard thing, right? Like getting into it. I have no problem starting. It's just making sure to keep it consistent is what I've always kind of struggled with, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know if I have ADHD or something. I don't know, but that's how it is. But I really am in the process of working on that because yeah, great things take time and they have to compound and you have to do work consistently every single day. Not only just show up, but also do good quality work. You know, if you don't enjoy at least what you're doing, how are you ever gonna keep at it for years on end? You know, so that's where I am at right now. I've narrowed things down to kind of like two business models, which I really want to explore. Uh, One being creating software, because one thing I notice is that I love learning. I'm a quick learner. I'm a really fast learner. Somehow that's one of like my really like skill, like I guess talents, if you'd call it. I don't even like really using the word talent because I think anyone can get any skill really if you work hard at it. But it's just one that really just naturally comes easy to me, being able to learn stuff quickly, especially stuff that I enjoy. Like it really just comes by like that and sticks in my head. So, I'm currently in the process of building stuff, like applications, but also in general, I'm just a very creative person and I love building things, right? So that's why making like apps is something that really appealed to me because you're building something of value, right? It's building something great that helps people's lives in a positive manner. And that's just a great feeling. I love that. I live for that shit. But additionally, I also love music. I'm a musician at heart. Music has always come easy to me in terms of making melodies, writing music, things like that. So I want to kind of explore that avenue as well in terms of making a business out of that. But to be honest with you, I'm not really sure how I'd go about. I have ideas of how I'm gonna go about doing that, but the path is a bit murky, you know. So those are kind of the two business models I'm locking in now, and as I get success in them, work on them, struggle in them, that's when I start learning, what it is I really want to do. I think because no business model is perfect, There'll always the grass is always greener on the other side to you, right? It's only green because you don't know the bad stuff on the other side. You don't know the struggles that come with like that kind of new shiny object. So it's just being able to withstand the struggles. I think that's an important thing. What it is you want to do, because there's always struggle in life. Life is never really easy. So you got to pick your battles well. But yeah, I guess really all it just comes down to is learning to love the process. Kind of just, I didn't really I don't have a script for this. I never have scripts for these. But this kind of just ties back to what I was talking about before, learning to love the process. Because I feel like once you love the process, the results will inevitably come. Inevitably. So, yeah, it's just all about the process, putting in the input, and not just input, but good input, good quality input, right? Because you can be working on something, but just doing nothing to move the needle forward. Like if you're trying to create a business, but all you do every day is answer emails, useless emails, or like you just do a bunch of research. Research is important, obviously. Don't get me wrong, but if all you do is just spend time researching but never doing, that's just a waste of your time. It's not gonna move the needle forward. It's about finding the key actions you have to do, and you spam those and you keep doing it. Like Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, in that this thing is like 80% of your results comes from the 20% of the actions that you do. I think that's basically kind of what it is. I might be a little bit wrong in like the specifics, but Pareto's principle, basically focus on the few really important things that move the biggest needles forward. That's really all it is. And I'm in the process of that. But as I mentioned again, kind of circling back to earlier in the video, sometimes it just feels like you're not making any progress at all. And times like this is where I really have to remind myself to love the process. Because when things are slow, no one wants to kind of be stuck, right? But again, it's just keep pushing forward. That's all that's important. That's all you gotta do, man. Just keep pushing forward. Keep pushing. Keep trying. Yeah. Just basically, that's all I have to say on this matter for today. I gotta get back to work. It's 11:30 p.m. at night. Gonna do a couple more hours of work and go to bed. Yeah.